All right, what is good, everyone? Today we have a very special guest, my boy Luke, who was working in and out of construction for 5 years, was actually a chippy like myself for 2 of those years, has been able to replace his income, leave his job, land a closing role as well on top of that, completely new skill. So we're still going to run through a bit of a backstory, where he's came from, how he's got here, sort of some things he's struggled with. So yeah, welcome, bro. Thanks for having a chat today.
Thanks for having me.
All good, bro. Well, we'll start off with, I guess, a bit of a backstory. You're working in and out construction in Melbourne. You're only like 45, 50 minutes from me, bit maybe like an hour. Small world. But run us through, I guess, what the last 5 years, I guess, looks like working a construction job.
Definitely a small word. So I guess average high school dropout, dropped out at year 10, went into, started actually laboring in a warehouse, and then I went into trade to trade to trade. So I started as a plumber, then I went to a sparky role, and then ended up as a chippy. So I was doing that for
On the
about
wall.
2 years. So
Yeah.
yeah, I've definitely jack of all trades and master of none.
Definitely, bro. Definitely, bro. Well,
But
you've
yeah.
you've found your space here, bro. You're killing it. But
Mm.
yeah, bro. So you're doing that for 5 years. Obviously, for a lot of people, the reasoning, like a lot of people who talk to me, the reasoning is usually pretty similar for, I guess, why they're wanting to get out of their job, or usually like lack of time or the hours that they're working or the pay. So for you, man, what do you feel like it was for you when you, I guess, came across being able to make money from your phone, and the potential of maybe one day being able to leave your job in construction? What was it for you, man?
And definitely, well, I guess like you see it all, right? You see it all. You're on break. You're sitting on a bucket and you're going through it all, right? You can just see every second kid. But I guess it was just like you're married to the tools. You're married to a Pazzi, and it's like I see the Pazzi more than I see my home, more than I see anything, right? And I guess for me, the turning point was just like, all right, what does the next 50 years of my life look like in construction? And I mean, I'm sure anyone can relate that it's not sunshine and rainbows. For me, it was just like, what is what's the cost going to be for me? What's the worst case scenario? I lose a bit of money and I go back to work. I'm guaranteed a paycheck at work. So worst case scenario is I'm going to be down a bit of money, but I'm still going to be at work. That was really the biggest thing. And it was like, I guess what outweighs what? At least giving something to crack, seeing, what it's all about, or sitting on the fence and just thinking about it, which I had been doing for a long time coming into it.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Okay. So you were sort of like, you'd come across it like
Mm.
pretty early, like
Yeah.
you in and out of, like, you're working construction for 5 years. At what point do you reckon you sort of came across, I guess, the whole make money online space, make money from your phone? At what point was that?
Definitely would have been like through the whole start. The whole start, it was like at the start, it was like I wanted to be a day trader, and then I wanted to do drop shipping, and then I wanted to do this and that. Like I
Yeah,
wanted
yeah,
to do all of these things, but how many did I actually do? You know what I mean? I did none of them.
yeah. So, uh, obviously, yeah, what, 5 years you sort of were familiar with it. You just sort of lacked, I guess, like taking action and taking that first step. So, what's at the point where, at the time where you did start, did something sort of change, or was it sort of that realization where it was like, fuck, like, where could I have been if I started 5 years ago? So that what you were actually costing yourself, is that sort of
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
you
So
sort of came to that realization, and you're like, fuck, I've wasted so
yeah.
much time.
It would have been that. I guess it was like I got to a point, you're working, you're drinking piss every day, you're getting drunk every single day. It's whatever day I'm getting pissed every day. And then I'm like, I'm 2 years down the line. I'm at this point now where I'm like, all right, like I need to start doing something because I'm getting older, my time's slipping
Yeah.
away. Like I need to start thinking about the future because right now I'm just thinking about my day to day. I'm getting pissed, I'm going to work,
Yeah.
everything's cool, but like, what does the next 5 years of this actually look like?
Yeah, not very sustainable. I was pretty much the same,
Nah,
bro.
nah,
Liver
definitely.
liver was about to give out.
Yeah, for
Definitely,
sure.
bro. Definitely, man. So I guess with that, like, obviously having like not taken action for 5 years, sort of coming to that realization. But then actually, you've obviously taken the step. So
Mm.
run me through a bit about like what that was like initially, like jumping into it. Obviously, like learning a skill like sales, or
Mm.
even, marketing as well. It's completely new. Can't, like, you didn't finish school, you've dropped out in year 10. I dropped out in year 11. So
Yeah.
what was that sort of transition like? Learning a completely new skill. Obviously, now you're not making money with your hands. All you need is Wi-Fi. So run us through sort of that transition, because I'm sure like a lot of people would be interested
For
because
sure.
a lot of people like just baffled by that you can make money from your phone. So run us through, I guess, the first few weeks after taking action, what that looked like for you.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, for me, it was baffling too, jumping into it. I mean, I'm sure the hardest part is actually the first part in actually taking the step and getting into it. Like for me, that was definitely the hardest part,
Yep.
which it all got easier once I got in. And I kind of looked at it like learning these skills was kind of like learning how to like be a trader. You got to learn how to use the tools first before you start using them. You're going to hammer your thumb a couple times before you actually start hitting the nail. So it was really just looking at it like I learned how to be a tradie, so now like I can learn how to do this. It was really simple after I took that first step.
Yeah. Yeah. So you'd say it's really just getting over the hurdle,
Mm.
leaving like all like the bullshit in the past, like all the self-doubt, procrastination and things. Just leave that behind and just go for it. And then, sort of control what you can control from there.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. And I mean, all the self-doubt, it compounds. If you leave it sit for a long time, it compounds, and then you're going to hold yourself to absolutely everything. So it was like as soon as you took that step, there's so much weight just off your shoulders. It's like, okay, I've done it. Now, what do I need to do from here?
Balls to the wall from there. I
Mm,
remember feeling the same way, bro. 100%. Definitely.
exactly.
So, I mean, how long ago since you did have that fuck it moment where you just went for it? How long have you like since you started the training through the academy? How long's it been, man?
But it's been just under 4 months.
4 months. So about three and a three quarter months in.
Yeah,
So I want to see, I guess, what you've achieved. I know around a month ago, bro, you landed that first closing roll. I know you've had some pretty good weeks from there. So I guess run us through, I guess, a bit of the journey since starting. How you were able to land that first role, what it was like learning that new skill.
for sure.
Sort of where you're at now, man.
So I guess, yeah, coming in, I was doing, 14, 15-hour days. So, I mean, I was coming in, maybe having an hour-ish to spend doing it each day. And then within my first 30 days, I landed an appointment setting role.
Yep.
And then from 35 days on, I was making money, consistent money every single week up to now. So, I mean, it was really that first month of just learning everything. And then, it was to the hills from there. So I was really just locking in, getting everything done. And, now it's, landing a closing role, which I just landed a few weeks ago. And now it's all sunshine and rainbows
Yeah,
now.
definitely, man. Definitely, man. 100%. So, yeah, I guess for like the people watching this, like you've come in and absolutely smashed it, bro. You just mentioned there, and I was actually doing a masterclass the other day where it's like, the first 30 days, people just want to make all this money and they overcomplicate. It's like just learn the skill set properly, like you've done. You've gone and got certified. This is like sort of how what I say to everyone: go get certified, then land that first role, make a bit of money, and then from there you've taken the time to learn the skill properly. So now you're sorted. So it's pretty much what's happened with you, bro. You've taken
Yeah.
the first 30 days. All right, it's a completely new skill. I'm going to learn it. Yeah, and then from there, you've got that setting role. You've now upskilled to closing. Well, if you don't mind talking numbers, bro, what sort of numbers are we hitting? Are we getting close to a 10K month? If you've obviously begun to replace what you're making as a chippy if you're out of your job.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I mean, 10K months of the goal soon. So the most that I've made would be close to 2K a
Yep.
week, which I actually hit last week. So that was my
Yep.
biggest week yet. But I mean,
Yep.
my first paycheck was, I think it was $250. And I mean,
Yeah.
when I saw that, it felt like $1 million to
Yeah.
me.
Yeah. Yeah.
It felt like I made it.
Yeah.
I was ready
Yeah.
to, quit the tools and just go. I was ready to go all
Yeah.
in.
Yeah.
But yeah,
My first payment was $70, bro, and that's beat any money I've ever made.
it's
100%.
a good feeling.
All good, bro. So I guess so before we wrap up, man, obviously for you, it's not even been 4 months, man. You've learned a completely new skill. You're pushing 10K months now, 2K weeks. Taking sales calls of all things, bro. Sales
Mm.
calls. A tradie taking sales calls. What are the
Yeah.
chances? So for I guess the person watching this, man, who's on the fence, or even like yourself who put it off for 5 years, yourself who was in that position 4 or 5 months ago, scared to make that change. What piece of advice could you give to that version of yourself or the person right now watching this who's scared to take action and take that leap?
Well, I guess the hardest part is always going to be starting, right? It's always hands down going to be the hardest part. But once you do it, it becomes so much easier. I mean, I come from a chippy background doing lock up and fix all day, every day. So, I mean, the high school dropout, I'm not no,
Yeah.
superhuman and whatnot. So I guess it's just take that step. For me, the biggest regret that I have is not taking it sooner because
Mm.
you come in and the possibility is just endless and you're open to a new world, right? I mean, a lot of people are coming from tradie background and I mean,
Yeah.
there's not much in it. You know, you go see the same three people every day, you talk the same shit. I mean, you come into this and it's like a new world. And I mean, you know, I never thought I'd be in this position that I am in now if I didn't take this step. So I mean, the biggest thing that I'd have to say is just take that step. It's a lot scarier than it seems. You know, it's
Yeah.
easier said than done, but you know, would you rather work for the next 50 years
Yeah.
on site or, you know, give something a crack and at
Keep
least
going.
that you've tried
Yeah.
something?
100%. 100%, bro. It's like, a lot of people don't even try. And it's like, so, like, say, like they hate the position they're in. I'm not even going to try. It's 100% certain that you're going to work the next 50 years. You give
Yeah.
something a try, say it doesn't work out, you just go back to where you were,
Mm,
or say it does work out. And that's always what I say is like, what if it does work out? Because, you're
exactly.
living proof
Yeah,
of, bro, what if it does work out? You're not
exactly.
even 4 months in, bro.
Exactly. And I mean, it's like, you know, what is certain? You know, what is certain is if we don't make a change,
Yeah.
nothing's going to change. That
Yeah.
is what's
That's
certain.
that's the only certainty. That's the only guarantee, bro. 100%.
Exactly.
100%. Biggest risk is not doing anything at all. But we'll wrap it up there, bro. I appreciate the time. I know you probably got calls to take and stuff like that. So I appreciate the time. But yeah, that's Luke. We'll have to meet up soon, bro. I didn't know you were so close to me.
You're not far.
It's pretty close, eh? But no, I appreciate it, bro. We'll let you get back to it. Yeah, cheers.
Perfect. Thanks, Cooper.